actually tells me that the maximum amount we can stream is 8 hours.
8
Bless
hours.
you. Hi, everyone. I think we are live right now. It's a little bit different this time because we are using Google Hangouts. So let me know in the comments whether everything looks good. But yeah, welcome to this stream today. We are talking about thumbnails. First of all, because we recently talked a lot about those. And second of all, there are new learnings I at least got from Vid Summit. And I have a special guest today, who is Marco from the channel MadPack. Hi, Marco.
Hi, guys. Hi. Thank you very much for the invitation, Nico, to be here with you.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys all probably saw his posts in the Tube Ritual group as well as the Morningfame Early Access group for his thumbnails before and after. And it's really impressive what kind of thumbnails you come up with. Really, we dive deep into that because I think it will a little bit be a surprise for you, Marco, but I think maybe you're not even aware how great your thumbnails actually are. I'll explain you later because I learned something at Vid Summit which is really blew my mind, and I realized that just one thumbnail follows from my thumbnails, coincidentally follows this advice, but you do it kind of all the time, intuitively. So let's see how we can understand all that. All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Shannon. By the way, really great meeting you at Vid Summit. Zach, welcome to the channel, one of the new subscribers. Marilus, Makeup Corner. Hi, how are you doing? I think you're new on the channel, right? So welcome. Harley, old friend, welcome as well. Geotechnica, hi. Schilder Bedriff. Sorry, I'm butchering your channel name. Great to see you here again. Fun Facts Film, how are you doing? Patty, hi, how are you doing? Patty, by the way, is really an interesting channel because she is really niched into like a special instrument that you play, right? So we will learn today also that thumbnails, you can't take a general approach to thumbnails. It always depends on your niche. And in case of Patty, certainly that is something like quite distinctive to do for her. And yeah, usually people are trying to copy thumbnails from other channels in your niche, but sometimes it's not that easy. So let's look into that today. We will explain you three major parts that have to be incorporated into thumbnails for them to really work well. That is, first, they should be recognizable by your subscribers so they have it easier to come back. Second of all, they should break the pattern compared to the other thumbnails you see in your niche, and they should tell a story. That's the main learning I took away from the Vid Summit. So let's go through each of those and do some channel reviews for you. Marco and I will review your thumbnails today. So let's see what we can figure out and learn from all that. Because as I said, niches are quite different. So thumbnails really have to look different as well, obviously, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And Marco actually has a tech review channel. Let me quickly show it to you. Let's dive right into that. I share my screen here, and let's get started with Marco's thumbnails. Here we go. Yeah, as you can see here, Marco, you have a tech review channel. Is it right to say tech review?
Yeah, it is. It is. Now it's more focused to products that are on Indiegogo or small companies. Is the companies with who I'm working now.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, true. You have Indiegogo quite a few times on there. That's actually a really good idea, as I didn't know that before, because tech review is a very competitive niche, right?
Yeah, it is, definitely. And it's difficult that companies try to bring us some products when you are so small, because I just have less than 500 subscribers, so it's more difficult to get some deals, but I figured out a way to find some companies to send me some products.
Oh, that is really impressive. We will shortly see. Marco has prepared for us one thumbnail in particular, which we don't see yet here because the video is not published yet, which is really a brand deal. It's super impressive that you already got that done, considering that you're still quite small, 500 subscribers, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at your thumbnails to begin with. As I said, there are 3 perspectives we can look at for thumbnails. And the first one would be they should be recognizable by subscribers in particular, because subscribers are really important, that they keep coming back, and with that drive the views, send signals to the algorithm so that your videos get successful. And the one thing that some things really do is, with a split second, they should tell subscribers, oh, there is a new video of that channel that I like. I should watch this video. Yeah. And you do it really well.
Thank you.
Look at it. It's all designed in a similar way. Obviously, we can see here. Can you see my cursor as well? Yeah. The top left 3 videos. These are the latest videos on your channel. You did a new redesign, right? They are.
Yeah. I changed a bit because some of the information, for example, on the text, I was putting all that the same text but in different colors, and it was losing the attention and the information. It was getting loose. And I started using more techniques that I learned at university when I study marketing and publicity. So I started to change a bit the style of my thumbnails.
Nice. Yeah, we can really see that. It's not such a big change. So in terms of your subscribers, they are used to all those thumbnails we see below. So you have your face in your thumbnail, which is the easiest way to make people recognize, oh, that's another video of that channel that I know of and that I like, right?
Definitely.
But also, as we can see here, the colors and the way you design it, is really unique and recognizable.
I use some RGB LEDs to do these effects. So I don't do any cuts on my photos. They are just cut, so just simple photos that after I edit, and obviously I increase the effect that I want on the back.
Yeah, nice. It's actually your trick here is not only the image editing. We can clearly see that your colors are more saturated and all, but also the raw image that you use as the basic design is also a great technique in its own. Let's shortly look into your thumbnails, but before that, to bring the idea home that thumbnails should be recognizable by subscribers. My thumbnails, for example, here, you all know it, right? They are also designed in a way that you immediately recognize my thumbnails because of the tilted text and the colors that I use, the red and the yellow and the dark gray. So imagine that if you are scrolling through the feed, and you scroll quite quickly, then this kind of design helps the viewer to stop scrolling and recognizing that video as part of your channel. And as we know, obviously the usual advice is to add a logo in a corner, for example. But I think there are many more better techniques to actually bring home this message to a subscriber. This is yet another video from the same channel. And colors and form factors really do that here. Let me give you another example. For example, this one here. Does anyone know this channel, by the way? It is called Verge Science. And this one is pretty unique in a sense that, as you see here, the text that is overlaid here has this, it's shifted a little bit, right? Cut in the middle and then shifted a little bit, like medicine here, rogue here, scandal here, levels, diamonds. You get the idea, right? So
yeah, really good.
This is a really interesting example, because those thumbnails, it's a top-notch channel, like millions of subscribers, right? So obviously they have a really great standard of designing thumbnails, but they don't use a logo in any sense. The only thing they use is this kind of cutting the text in half this way. And that alone already works as that factor. When I scroll past the feed, I always recognize their thumbnails because of the type they use, the way they use the text. And actually, for this stream, I had to look up what was the name of the channel, actually, because I didn't even know that. I'm not subscribed to them. I don't know what their channel name is, but still I recognize their thumbnails. Just a tiny thing, really powerful, bringing home the message. Here's another video of that channel. And not even for subscribers. As I said, I'm not subscribed to this channel. Still, I recognize their videos and watch them. Right, Harley? It's so impressive. I mean, that is really such a great example here. So obviously you can use a logo, but form factors, colors like this really can work a great deal. But it takes a little time to figure that out, because obviously it has to be some kind of unique, something that no other channel does, you can recognize. So yeah, try to come up with those a little bit, like this little element. And as you saw in this example, none of us, neither Marco, neither me, nor this channel that I just showed with about this text that is shifted a little bit, uses up space in the thumbnail. That's really unique here as well. So this design element doesn't necessarily need to use space for that. So you have all the space still available to really focus on the other aspects that thumbnails should do as well. A corner mark certainly is an easy way to do that. So I would certainly recommend Schilderbegriffs, Iddens, to start with doing that. And the more you think about it, you might even come up with another aspect. So then you don't even need a logo in the corner anymore. But certainly start with that simple steps, so to say, right? Did you have a logo before on your videos as well, Marco?
Yeah, I had in the beginning. I have my logo, so I continue to use the logo on the intro of my videos. That is my face anyway. It's like an emoji of myself. But with the time I decided to really put my face, because I want that everyone recognize me as a person, as a personality, and they follow me because it's me. So that's why I've done the shift. So if you go to all these videos, you'll find that I was using a logo of myself.
By the way, if you are interested in seeing this change that he made, the link to his channel is in the description, so you can check out his thumbnails from earlier. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. The face obviously is like a logo, especially if you have a channel like only by yourself, like where you are the main character, right? Which is common for most of us, obviously. So this is a great thing to do. And by the way, what I really like for your thumbnails is that you are actually doing a unique shot for each and every new video. So every time you have a, is it the word right, grimace?
I don't know what means that word.
Right, like we are both no native speakers, right?
No, so definitely. I just started learning English 3 years ago, so
Awesome. So yeah, shocking face, yeah, type thumbnail that is so popular these days would play with the demographics of my small niche. Adventures in dirt, yeah, good idea. You're doing like a racing quads, right, and stuff like this. Could it be? So yeah, certainly emotion, right? With a face, we can emote with our faces, and so it's like a two birds with one stone, right? If you show your face, you're immediately recognizable by viewers who know your channel. So they are more willing to click your thumbnails and watch your video because they recognize you. And at the same time, you can emote. And that actually ties into what we will discuss later about telling a story with your thumbnails. And actually, to give you an idea about what we will be talking about, there is Marco prepared for us one of, I would say, so far your best thumbnail that you also did, which also tells a story, which we will explain later. But yeah, how about we get started? You have prepared something, Marco, to explain us how you do your thumbnails.
Yeah, I can. So just give me a second. Guys, if I'm a bit nervous, sorry, because it's my first live streaming, but I try to prepare something for you guys.
Okay, now I'm zooming out over to Marco.
So it's working, Nico?
I see your desktop, yes.
Yeah, so let's open this. So I prepare a presentation for you guys. So first of all, when you want to take a photo, for me at least, one of the most important things is light. Because if you don't have a good light, you can't take good pictures. And for example, all my pictures I take with my phone, with the Samsung Note 8. So I don't use any DSLRs, nothing. The only thing that I use is some lenses that I can show you if you guys want to see. But the other thing that is really important when you take a photo is obviously the focus. You want to be in focus. If it's possible to focus just the object that you want and put everything on focus, you can do it. So that is completely up to you guys. But if you see this photo of this electric skateboard, everything is on focus. You can see my face, you can see the name of the brand, you can see everything. Obviously, another thing that is quite important for me is the movement of the object. So I want you two guys to think about a thumbnail as, for example, a story. So you want to move the eyes of the person that is looking through your thumbnail. You want to make everything in a way that you know that who is looking for your thumbnail knows that have to look first for example, the title, and I have to look to the object, and so on. Okay, so the movement is really, really important, and many persons forget about that. And the last thing is the space. So it's really, really important that you have space between all the elements that you have on the photo, because you don't want to have a title on top of an image. And one of the things that I'm always saying in the group is that the photo is the focus of everything. The title that you use should be just a clickbait, something that will complement the image and not the most important part of that image. So I use two tools. They are completely free. So if you want to use, the only thing that you need is a phone. I start with Lightroom, is the free version. And when I start using it, I have to choose a profile. And the profile that I always use is Artistic 4. Sorry, guys, it's in Portuguese because I forgot when I was doing this to change to English. So when I was doing the screenshots, you could see in English, but I think you can't understand what I'm trying to show you guys. So in this moment, it's just to give a little bit more the colors that I want, and you can see already a shift between the original file and this one.
And by the way, there is a link in the description to the tools Marco is using. So if you want to check them out, they are all free. Or you can, for all of them, you can use the free version. The paid version is not necessary.
Exactly. I don't use anything pay, and you'll notice what I can do even in the free version. So the second step is definitely you just press automatic, and when you do that, it's just going to do a quick correction of your colors. So after, it will be easier when you start working with them. And when you arrive here, so when you try to correct your light, the exposure, the contrast, and everything, you have a trick that you have to do, because obviously just looking for it is more difficult. So if you put your finger on the image, like I said to you guys, I do this on my phone. So I put my finger on top of the image, and after I scroll on the tab that I want to change. The contrast will not do anything, but all the others, the exposition, the darks, the light colors, they will change, and you will be able to see that. The first thing that you also have to do in this one is to increase your contrast, because in that way the photo will be more exposed in colors, so it will be after easier for you to adjust. When you press on the photo and you try to slide that that thing, the image that you'll see is basically that. So those red dots that you can see there is the image is too much exposed on that part, so you just have to scroll to your left, and those dots will disappear. The next step that you have to do is when you go to colors, the first thing that I do is to change the saturation of my photo. So this is just the general saturation. So when you do that, the only tip that I have to give you guys here is to avoid yellows, because if the image and the background and everything is too yellow, it will give you some problems to after give a good color to your skin tone. So that's why you should avoid that the background and everything is really exposed on the yellow. So that's why I bring the saturation down, because it's closer to cold colors like blue. So it's easier for you to after change that. And here we start looking for which colors are affecting your objects, your background, and your subject. So you select the tool. So like you can see here, you press here, and after you just click on the parts that you want. I always start with the object. So in this case, I want to bring up the skateboard, because it's the first element of my thumbnail. So I start pressing in all the parts of the skateboard, and you can see that from this one to this one is almost the same place, but it can affect different colors. On the bottom part of the skateboard, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's basically affecting a little bit more like a purple color. So I press every single part, in this case of the skateboard, and that is the first colors that I'm going to adjust. The second one is to see the background, which colors are affecting the background. Obviously, we'll have there reds and orange, and that is the second thing that you have to check. And also which colors are affecting in this case myself, because I don't want to have a skin tone that is really yellow or really red or something like that. I'm going too quick, Nico?
No, I think it's good.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So here is when I'm trying to adjust all the colors. Okay, so I do one by one. So on the background, I'll want that the background will be darker than, in that case, the subject, me, and the skateboard. So for example, in this case, I bring the saturation down, and also the luminosity I normally bring down. On the face, so the yellows, like I said, I bring everything up. And in this case, once again, you can see on the orange, I try to bring down. So in that case, the background will get darker. So when you are doing that, the main objective is that your subject or that you are taking the photo, it will start to pop out from everything. But remember that you have to choose a background that is easy to work. If you have too many things behind, it will be a problem. After you've done that, so you have adjust all the colors, what you have to do, you come back to the general ones. So what I normally do is I change my saturation, and I bring once again a little bit lower. So like you can see, guys, it starts to appear a bit of blues. That is what I want now with my new thumbnails. So I want that even the photo put the person a little bit more intrigued. I increase the vibration of the photo, and I also bring the temperature of the photo down. So that will help me to have these reds and blues that will give even more, how I can say, clickbait to the photo. When you go to effects, so that is the next step, I increase the clarity of that photo. I increase the untangle. The vignette is the only one that you bring down because you want to have this dark effect. Normally, if it was a normal photo, you don't want to be so strong, the vignette. But in this case, because the thumbnail, you're going to cut parts around, so you are not going to appear all of this, I want the vignette stronger. And the highlights you're going to increase, and all the other setups on the vignette, you are going to increase them also.
Yeah, the vignette makes it really look cinematic, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it is going to help you to focus even more on the subject, in this case, on the skateboard and myself.
A quick question. Patty asks, the untangle option. What can you explain a little bit more what it does exactly?
The untangle is the second one below the clarity. So if you increase the clarity, it gets slightly darker. But this one, the untangle, it will bring. If you bring down, is like you put. Is not the photo starts to, like in Canva. Help me, Nico. When you can put that the object is not as strong, the image. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little bit like the contrast, maybe?
No. It's imagine that you have two images on top of each other, and the one that is on top, you reduce the amount, the opacity.
Okay.
And you can see through that. So the untangle, this one, the second option that you have below the clarity, is what you do. I normally bring down, and after I start bringing up until I get the amount that I want.
So the background and the foreground gets better distinguishable. Could it?
You reduce all the colors in the same time. It's like you are just erasing that photo, if you want, until white. And after you start bringing up until you reach the amount that you want. And this option with the clarity, they are all together. They work together.
By the way, if you're downloading the app, the link is in the description, Lightroom CC. It has a really great tutorial in the beginning. You upload your first picture and it walks you through all the options and actually optimizes your first picture really well automatically. Like I think the onboarding is in a way that it's customized for your particular picture that you just uploaded there. So it will look different for each and every picture. It's really great. Try it out and play around with these options.
So continue, guys. The last things that you have to do is on the details and in the optic. So when you go to details, you want to increase them all. Okay, so there is no exceptions. So you're going to increase all the details. Don't get too crazy, otherwise the photo will look too strange. And you select the optical here, okay? And you can see, for example, in the reduction of the noise on the colors and everything, you can see that is a little bit smoother, the image here on this corner. You can notice, Nico, also in that side.
Yeah.
So I want that everything looks more, not as all these things here, you see, these waves on the corner. So I want everything to look much, much smoother. So the final project is basically this, like you can see. So I have already my photo, and many times I see people that have good photos, but after they forget what we talked in the beginning, the movement of the objects, and everything is in contrast with, is just going, is overlaying everything. So I brought some bad examples for that. And the first one is using a type of letter that is not good. We talked about that, Nico, in the past together. And people sometimes put serifs on the letters. So serifs is when you have the the stop parts on the bottom. So basically in marketing, we don't use that because it makes the title lose velocity. So it's more difficult to read. And people many times use, for example, imagine in this case, this will be my clickbait, so it will be boosted killer. And maybe I could use this type of letter, but if I use this type of letter, it's much more difficult to read. Normally, what I say to everyone that I try to help with thumbnails in our group is, imagine there is someone that is driving in the car and you have an outdoor. That person have 2 seconds to see that outdoor and understanding what is the message. And with the thumbnail is exactly the same, because everyone is always scrolling and they don't have time to stop to read every single information that is there. So try to choose a type of letter that is easy to read. And I normally try to use maximum two words, but I will say that until 3 words, it will be enough. So this is the second example, bad example that I see also, is a long text, and the text many times going on top of the image. And when that happens, we start losing what I said, that is the space, and the image starts to stop breathing. And in this case, because the text is going on top of the image, is losing the impact that the photography could give. This title is saying exactly the same as the first one, but in 2 seconds is impossible that you read all this and you will understand quickly what is the information that you want to pass. The third example, sorry, Nico, you were
yeah, very good point. As you said, like I really like this example. Someone is driving and only has 2 seconds to understand the thumbnail, right?
Yeah.
Don't drive and look YouTube, obviously, but that's really the point. You scroll through everything. There's such an overload of many thumbnails that you see. It has to have an effect in a split second. Yeah, and
exactly.
at least it has to be clean so people don't get confused, and like it takes brain power to look at thumbnails, right? The simpler you can do it, the better. And so clean design, and if there's something that is eye-catching, and obviously you looking at the skateboard already is so eye-catching that people are even willing to stop scrolling and then read a little bit more. But with this text here that you're just showing, right, as you say, that would be confusing, and then people would be starting to continue to scroll past the thumbnail, Nico. Probably.
Yeah, because obviously you are already covering your object, the one that is important for the photo.
Oh, so, yeah, good point.
So that is definitely what we don't want to do. So the next one that I wanted to share with you guys is, many times I see people putting titles in different places, and once again, here I put on top of the skateboard, but this is, once again, like I said, a bad example. And I see putting with different colors. And that is something that I want you guys to think when you are doing your thumbnails. The colors that you use on your titles, they should be white and black. For example, in publicity, they are not considered a color. A gray one is considered a neutral color. So those 3 colors you could use. But all the others, if they are not related with the colors of the picture, they will not match. So imagine that all my background is blue and red, pink, if you want, and I was using a title in green. It will look horrible, at least for me, for my eyes. So I will use always, normally, like you've been seeing in my last thumbnails, I'm trying to always use only or white or black, depending on the background that I'm using.
By the way, Rogerio is just asking, this is the font you usually use for your thumbnails, right?
Exactly. I always use exactly the same type of letter. That is a good question, because one of the most important things to understand, and many times I see it, that in publicity, every single company, when they do a publicity of something, they always use the same type of letter. So they don't use more than one. So if they have a slogan, is with that type of letter. If they write the body of the information, is with that type of letter. Maximum they can have 2, but not more than that. And once again, we want something without serif that is easy to read, is much quicker to read.
That's important. And how is this font called in particular here?
Is I don't remember, but I can open my Canva and tell you. It starts by an N, but I don't remember.
Okay, let's when we go to the reviews in a minute, then you can look it up. And Rogerio, we will let you know which name the font is. Awesome.
So the next one is this one that is really, really common. I was doing also this error in the beginning, is this corner should not have anything there, because you will have all the time here the time, the length of your video. So if you put some information here, it will be lost, and you don't want that. So definitely is not a place to use it. And once again, we can see here that I lost what I want. That is the movement that I'll explain. What is the movement that I tried to recreate on my last thumbnail there? I don't know if it's the next slide or not. No, this one also I see quite often in many thumbnails in our group, and is using some image that once again they're going to overlay the image that is important. So I use here just a knife, for example, on the back of Boosted Killer, and I don't understand why the people do that. The image have to talk by itself, and the text, once again, like I said, it have to be something that will increase the sensation or increase the message that you want to give. And this emoji looks horrible.
A really good point. That's also what I said just a minute ago. This uncluttered design, right? These extra emojis just clutter it up and don't help the message. They just annoy. Yeah, annoy is probably not the right word, but confuse maybe.
Yeah, it confuses completely, because the people don't know where to look first. So they lose the way of the message that you want to transmit. Another thing that I forgot to say, that if you see my old thumbnails, I was not using this, but in publicity, for a long time, you don't tilt the text. The text is always on the horizontal. So that's why all my thumbnails now, they are on the horizontal. Because if you think the people that is grabbing the phone, normally they have the phone in the vertical, or depending, they are not tilting the phone to try to read. So they should be also completely straight. I know that you tilt your thumbnails, Nico, but it's something that normally is not used in publicity because of that reason, because it's more difficult to pass the message.
Makes sense, yeah.
So this is my final thumbnail. So in this case, what I've done, I obviously, like you can see, Boosted Killer is the message that I want to pass with the photo that I take. And if you go to Canva, you don't find a lot of cool things. But if you search online, what you should do is searching for images that don't have a background. And it's very easy. In this case, I searched for blood, and after space, and you write down PNG. So if you do that, it will be an image without a background. So I found this piece of blood, if you want, and I put behind. So it gives the sensation of killer, so increase the sensation of killer. Besides that, because the drops, they brings down, they will bring the eyes to go in this direction like I wanted, because I want that they notice that, for example, the wheels, they are not the flat wheels like you normally see in an electric skateboard. The people can see slick revolution. My eyes are pointing to the object, so the attention, the first thing that pops out is obviously the skateboard, because of my eyes pointing to there. And after, because of the movement of the skateboard, he finish on the motor, and he finish once again on that big wheel. So once again, like you can see, the blood is giving the space to my head breathe, if you want. It's like we say in publicity, with this element is not killing this element, okay? And it seems that it belongs there, at least for me. I hope
it does, yeah.
But basically, this is the way that I create my thumbnails, is trying to have a clean background, increasing colors, but not just the saturation. Try to understand each single color, understanding which colors are affecting which elements, choosing a clickbait, and this is one of them. Obviously, this thumbnail, I'm using more lights, I'm using LEDs and everything, but I wanted just to, who is on the group, they have already seen, but I wanted just for who never saw it, you don't need to have any LEDs to make that. So this one is the company that I'm working with now. I'm doing the reviews of all the lineup of them. So this was the first one that is going to be releasing Indiegogo next month. And like you can see in this photo, once again, was taken with my phone. Even my face is not really good, but the bag is in focus. And this is the walls of my house. So I'm sure that you have a white wall in your house that you can take some pictures. This one is a bit yellow, but this is the original photo that I take. This is after the edition, so you can see now that the bag is standing out more. Another tip that I would like to give you guys, if you use yourself with some objects, try to choose a color, a neutral color that you already know, a white, a black, or a gray. That will help to don't pop, so you will not be so visible, and the attention will go to the object that you want to take the photo. The background, you already see that is darker, like I wanted, like I explained to you guys. And after, once again, we have the titles. Even if the title in this side, I have anything on the bottom, the bag is bending to this side. So the first thing is the bag that stands out. And after, it brings the eyes of that person to this side. And that is the bag. And my clickbait is the name of the bag, because the other bag is really similar with this one, but this one is a mini version of it. And after, my head brings to the Indiegogo. So that is just to show to everyone that you don't need fancy lights and anything. You just need to lose a bit of time trying to find a place where you can shoot your photos, and you'll have good results.
Yeah, that's what I like about your thumbnails. You're thinking in advance what image you can take, right? And this way, it will make it so much easier for you to improve the colors and add the titles and all that later on, right?
Yeah, definitely, Nico. I have already stopped to share my computer.
Perfect. All right, I think that's really interesting, and this kind of how you process your images, like this whole process that you develop there, is creating this unique style that you have. And as I said in the beginning, one of 3 important aspects that a thumbnail should be able to do is, the first one is to make them recognizable by subscribers in particular, that they see, oh, that's another video of your channel, right? And
Yeah,
you
exactly.
definitely achieve this by this style. And I would say, before we go into the other 2 aspects, we already learned a lot. So let's review a few channels and their thumbnails, so that we can see how you're doing and what we could recommend you maybe to change or improve, right? So who wants to have a review? Please leave in the chat at Morningfame me or something like that, at Morningfame, so I can easily count it. And everyone who enters that in the chat, I will draw a random number, and then that person is the one. Right. Let's go ahead here quickly. Okay, it's coming in. This time the delay is a little bit longer, so let's say we take a number from 1 to 20. Okay, 49 is the last one. Let's draw a random number. 18. Okay, let's see. Who is the lucky first person to review? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What number was it? 12, let's go around Robin, and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Fun facts film. All right, let's go for your channel. Fun facts film is the person. Marco, feel free to open his channel on your computer as well.
So just give me a second.
All right, here we go.
Can you just write me down which one it is once again?
I can, let me see. There is a chat here for us, right? I put the channel link into the chat. Here on the top left, there's a chat in Google Hangouts.
Okay.
Which you can use to open it.
Yeah.
All right, let me share the screen real quick. Here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, we are focusing on if the thumbnails are recognizable by subscribers. Obviously, you do some fun facts. So now, fun facts. So entertainment. All right, we easily see you have this logo in all your thumbnails. Here, it really stands out here as well. For some reason, you didn't add it here, right? It would be helpful to have it here as well, but obviously it takes up a little space. Did you decide to not go for your logo recently, or I don't know what you thought, but in the past you always use it, right? So that's a good idea. What could you do? It is, as I said, a logo is an easy way to make your videos recognizable. And I think for that reason, it's also a good idea to have it in the top left corner, right? Because that's how we read. We start at the top left to read something. So this will easily catch the attention of people. And I think it's a good choice to do it here. Obviously, there are many other ways to do that as well, but I bet that could be working for you quite well. What do you say about that?
What I notice, I like a lot the top part. So I like the letters of the fun fact there, but on your logo is not exactly the same type of letter. And here we see that what I was talking about it, of the serif. So you have on your F of fun facts, you have some serifs there. I love the logo, the thumbnail, the 10 fun facts about the artist. I think is really, really good. So if you can show
this one, yeah. Here with the yellow one, that's really well designed.
Really well designed, because the hand is pointing to the artist. I will just change the logo. I think the logo, first of all, is really small. Maybe it's just fun facts or trying to find. I will change for the type of letter that is on the top on all of them. But this one and the one of Jurassic Park, that I have to say that the logo of Jurassic Park, I think it was not necessary there, because just the dinosaur was enough to understand that it's from Jurassic Park. So once again, there are elements, they are not giving extra information, they are just confusing. So where I should look for, and that will be basically what I do. The last two thumbnails, I think they are, and the last three thumbnails, I think they are inferior, for example, of the other two. I think it was much more that way. It was going much better than in the last three thumbnails that I see here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, what you did before these thumbnails, they have much more intrigue, right? Obviously, there are a lot more work to do, right? To design them, but I would say it's certainly worth the effort, because thumbnails directly influence your click-through rate, and that is so important for the YouTube algorithm that it is okay if a thumbnail alone takes an hour to produce. It's certainly okay, because that makes a big difference. Yeah, nice. Good point. Yeah, I mean, the logo is quite unique. It could be a little bit less cluttered if it was sans serif, but I think it's also, yeah, not necessarily that you need to read it. It's kind of, you only need to recognize it, right? But as you say, it is a good idea to kind of find ways to make the thumbnails less cluttered, so there's less to process for people. So the Jurassic Park, a really good point. The dinosaur alone would probably be enough here. But it depends, of course, on your niche, right? We will have the thumbnail that you just showed on your channel, Marco, about the skateboard. You say like the text over it is something killer, right? What was the name? Boosted killer, right?
Yeah, boosted killer. Yeah.
And the point here is thumbnails, they have to say something to your particular audience. So the question is, obviously, in your case, the skateboard, there is another brand of skateboard that is called Boosted, right?
Yes.
Okay. So your audience understands that you mean the competition, and this skateboard in particular is probably superior to the competition. So that's what you're talking about there. Yeah. And now the big question is, if we are looking at these Jurassic Park thumbnails, fun facts films, what kind of audience do you have? Do they see a dinosaur and think about Jurassic Park automatically, or do they not? Depending on that, you need that Jurassic Park logo or you don't. Ideally, you don't need it, and then that would be easy for you to make your thumbnails less cluttered.
Nico, can I give a suggestion to him? For example, one thing that you could do is, I was now looking to the thumbnails. Even if the titles is always related with fun facts, the type of letter that you use you could put always on all your thumbnails, if it's always related with fun facts, writing down the name of your channel that is fun facts, but using the font of the film. It makes sense what I'm saying, Nico? The idea. So, for example, if you think about Avengers, the type of letter is really easy to recognize that is Avengers. But if you put fun facts, but with that type of font, they recognize, obviously, because it's always saying fun facts, that is your channel. But in this case, is related with that film.
Good idea. That's certainly something to experiment with, because this way you would have the chance to match fonts, which is an aspect to make the thumbnail less cluttered, because having different fonts is also something that like basically requires more brain power to process, right?
Yeah.
So it would be an avenue, a good idea.
It's like the thing that I've done with the blood of the killer. So they recognize by the font that you are using, just to put fun facts. Okay, it's a fun fact related with the film, but also is related with that specific film, that after you have all the image on the back, that is obviously complementing all the information that you are trying to pass.
Good idea. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I would say, without further ado, let's do a second review about this recognizability aspect. Please leave in the comments at Morningfame me again, and I will draw a random number for the next person to look the thumbnails at. All right. It is. I also like the idea with using the fonts in this way, because it's in design, we often talk about a design language, and that's what ideally you would develop for your thumbnails, a language which includes the fonts you use, the colors you use, the forms you use, and all that. And once you have that figured out, actually, it will become much easier to produce all those thumbnails because you follow always the same design.
Yeah, for example, also because of the serif that makes the logo of him so static. The other one, because it's more round, gives a little bit the sensation of movement. It's like if you grab a square but you put in this position, it gives you the sensation that it's going to fall in one of the directions. So that's why I prefer much more the other type of letter that is using on the top part of his channel than on his logo, for example.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The top part you are talking about for everyone to see real quick.
It's a little bit more curved, so there is no serif there. So it gives a bit more sensation of movement.
Here we go. Mm-hmm. You mean this top section, channel banner? Yeah, true. A good idea. Good point. Yeah.
But I will take the films from all the thumbnails, because obviously if the people I will try to find a type of letter that maybe is related with the film that is going to be more in niche, for example, and after that you can start opening for more types of films. But having a type of letter that is a little bit more curved will help quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. Fonts is also a passion of mine to use them, but for my Morningfame tool, I always use Helvetica Neue. Just a really common one, but that's it's interesting how much you can do even with a common font. Like many people know Arial, right?
Yeah.
Which is the Windows pendant of it, and Anyway, all right. We have some votes coming in. 18 is the last number, and now we have a 4. That's easier for me to count. Let's see who's the next to review. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's Pam Duty. Copy channel. Marco, I pasted the channel link in the chat again. And here we go. There was another question. All right, here we go. Fun Facts Films, you were asking, would repeating the title be recommended in this case? Repeating the title, what do you mean exactly by that? Certainly, I would try, if you design a thumbnail, try to have as little elements on your thumbnails as possible. Because everything you add extra is a risk of confusing people. So,
like I said in the presentation that I was showing to you guys, the movement of the objects are really important. So, for example, in the one of the Star Wars, when you put the logo of Jurassic Park on top of the tail of the dinosaur, you are just cutting the movement of the body of the dinosaur. So, for me, for my eyes, and for what I learned in school, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because it's not giving anything extra, because you already know that is a film from Jurassic Park, because that photo is really recognizable.
Yeah, good point. Fun Facts Films just said as well that you have heard that it is a bad idea. Yeah, you have the title already. You don't have to repeat all the text there. For me, in my particular case, I'm using a few words because always assume that people don't read titles below the video. So the thumbnail in itself should tell everything already. So a few words, repeating a few words makes sense, but I wouldn't copy the whole title, certainly. Pam's channel is actually a very good example, it turns out here. By the way, Pam does needle felting. She does stuffed animals, plus advice on selling them on Etsy. But anyway, this is a good example here. Pam, you're having here Spooky Sunday. This is not the whole title, right? But it kind of repeats a little bit, like spooky and Sunday, because it's your Sunday live stream, right? Oh, you did it 3 hours ago. Cool. And comparing keywords. This is also like an excerpt of the full title, but it's a good idea to not repeat the whole title. Only the most important words that like give an idea what the video is about, right? Keywords, comparing something like SEO. People who watch your channel, Pam, already know that you're giving advice on Etsy. Yeah, like we do here on the Morningfame channel, advice on growing a YouTube channel. You give advice on growing your Etsy shop. And so people already know that it is about Etsy, so you don't have to repeat necessarily the word Etsy or put the logo of Etsy on it. Because, yeah, we are talking about making it recognizable, in particular for your subscribers or viewers who often watch your channel. And this is all you need. Make it as simple as possible. And that is what I like here about your thumbnails. Certainly, you're giving a few keywords, words that help understand what it is about. And of course, you have your face. And that is, as we said in the beginning as well, the best way to make people recognize your channel, even if it's blurred out, your face here in this lower one. Yeah, it's perfectly recognizable, I would say. Right, Marco?
It is, but I will change a lot on these thumbnails. Can you put on the first page, like the first thumbnails that appears, if you don't mind, like the new Etsy SEO, scary change, new short titles?
Here, the first 3 videos, you mean?
Yeah, basically.
It's shown now, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in the first ones, everything is pointing to the top corner. So the eyes are completely sending out the viewer, if it makes sense what I'm saying. So there is not a guide where to look for. The type of letter also, I don't think that is so noticeable. I don't think that you need to put the pink around. So it's more things, it's more information that is not giving anything extra. That, like I said, I will try. If the cut on yourself is not as good as you would like to be, I will definitely try to use just a wall with a color, some bricks, whatever you have on your hand, and I will try to work more in the colors and everything. And I will not tilt, once again, like I explained, I will not tilt the information that you want to pass and write on your thumbnails, because it makes this more difficult for us to read. And like I said, when you try to, if you want to tilt, you should tilt in a direction, for example, to your face and not outside of the thumbnail, because in that way, the movement of these last 3 thumbnails, they are just pushing the eyes of your audience outside of your thumbnail, so they will just scroll down. And I think that you have here more opportunities to go forward.
Interesting point. Actually, this thumbnail here at the bottom, yeah. Pam looks a little bit into the middle, like to the side, right?
Yeah. That one is much better already.
Mm-hmm. So what you could do here is just looking to the side a little bit, and this way, yeah.
And putting the text aligned so you don't bring the eyes to go completely out of the image.
Actually, for the Spooky Sunday, what you could do is to bring a little bit more emotion, like I'm on the side, and do like this, right?
Definitely.
That could be a way to make this face shot a little bit more, like having like a little bit more emotion in it, right? Because there's so much potential. I mean, this costume you have there, Pam, is really great and really matches like what the stream is about, right? So there's opportunity if you do like a gesture like this, something in this region, right? All right, I would say since we are talking about this, you know, I was thinking about the next thing being something different, but let's do the third part as the second, because I think this is a really good example. Let me quickly share the screen again. Here, this Pam's thumbnail here, it could tell a story. And that's actually what I learned at Vid Summit, which really blew my mind. The word spooky, right? What you can basically think of is spooky is something that you don't need actually a word for it. You can show people that it is spooky by what you do. Yeah, like I said, you hold up your arms and like do this scare gesture, like a vampire would do, something like that. So telling a story, and I prepared a little bit here about telling a story at Vid Summit. At Vid Summit, what was the name of this channel? Carter Scherer. This is a thumbnail of Carter Scherer, and he explained that thumbnails should tell a story. And look at this example here. You already know what the video will be about, right? I mean, he's driving a car on the pool, which is quite intriguing, actually. I don't usually a RC car would obviously sink down to the bottom, but he managed to drive it on the water. So this is actually a thumbnail which is a really good idea to tell a story. Like tell the story of the video right away, even without people clicking on the thumbnail. You could already tell them what they will watch in the video. And this, I think, is a really great perspective to figure out what the thumbnail should show. And I was thinking, after I was really blown away by this thought at Vid Summit, how about my thumbnails? And I actually found just one thumbnail where I coincidentally did that. And that was video takes up, subs lost. I mean, what do you say, everyone? This is kind of, yeah, I'm doing a how-to channel. I mean, obviously, this is a entertainment channel, and we could say it's maybe a little bit easier to tell a story with the thumbnail already than for a how-to channel. But this is already an example where I tell the story of a video taking off and you lose subscribers along the way. This is a perspective. Yeah, think about that. It's kind of advanced, but if you can intrigue people, yeah, with a story, with a hook about what they will see in the video, then they are more willing to click. Awesome, thanks, Pam. Yeah, it was a while ago, this video.
It was a very good one, Nico.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Anyway, and I would say the thumbnail, Marco, that you just showed us before, how you created that, this is actually also really one that is telling a story here. I mean, it's everything in there, yeah?
It is.
I mean, it's also not an entertainment channel, right? Where you do like a movie, something where actually a story is told. You just review a tech product, a skateboard in this case, but you tell so much with this thumbnail already. you're astonished by this product. Obviously, you tell the story about this is a really cool skateboard. And at the same time, you say like the Boosted Killer, the other brand, it's you found a superior skateboard compared to the other common brand,
In
which
price
is
for sure. In price.
it's also more costly.
Yeah, double. This one is cheaper, like 2 times cheaper than a boosted board.
Oh, okay, it's cheaper.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, it's cheaper
interesting.
and is crazy. It's really good.
So understand that, yeah. You have to understand it from the perspective of the viewer. People who are interested in electric skateboards in general, yeah. It is not telling a story to everyone. Obviously, this one is telling a story to whoever you show the thumbnail to, obviously, because it's something out of the world of everyone. Everyone swam in a pool before. Everyone drove an RC car before, right? So it's telling a story to everyone. But if you are going into a niche, like in my case, this is only telling YouTubers a story, no one else. And this is only telling people who are interested in electric skateboards a story, no one else, right? I mean, even as though I don't drive electric skateboards, I was already able to guess what story you're telling here, Marco. But certainly, people who are interested in electric skateboards know about Boosted. It's a big brand, and to them the story is told. Yeah, the thumbnail has to be for your audience.
And many persons knows about Boosted because you have Casey Neistat always using the Boosted board everywhere that he goes. So
interesting.
That's why I also use the Boosted Killer to buy. It will be the keyword search that I'm going to use my metadata for my next video.
Yeah, nice. That's good to know. So your thumbnail is telling a story to even a broader audience than I just anticipated. All right. I would say having this thought in mind, yeah, with this prime example here of Carter Scherer, let's do a few reviews to see whether some of you guys are also telling a story with your thumbnails. Obviously, that's quite difficult, so let's see where that goes. So leave in the chat below @MorningFameMe if you want to have a review, and then I pick again someone with a random number. Yeah, squad time. Just leave again. Squad time. You are the first one who I'm counting as getting a review. Okay, and let's see who else wants one, and then let's pick. SP Tech Plus, thank you very much for the praise on the voice. No secret. It's how it works, right? All right. Yeah. By the way, hi Andrew. Didn't say hello to you before. Great to have you over here, Andrew. By the way, I really like his comments in the groups all the time, Facebook groups. Super great advice about growing a YouTube channel. Okay, looks good. Let's draw a random number again. The 4 was the last one. Okay, here we go. 12 is the next one. Hi Dave, how are you doing? And welcome Mike. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hype Mippy, there's a link to my tool in the description, by the way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the next one. Okay, we had 11 people asking, so number 1 is it. Squad time. It's your thing. Marco, I paste the channel link for you again.
Thank you.
Let's have a look. All right. Squad time. Challenges, punishments, adventures. Squad time. Okay, really entertaining. Okay, small channel, 200 subscribers. Nice. Actually, my first impression that I just have about your thumbnails is really good. I mean, look at that. You would never guess that this is just a 200 subscriber channel. Did you do a channel before that? Obviously, you're bringing a lot of skills here right away. All right, telling a story. Yeah, that's the focus right now for this review. Interesting. Let's see if I can do it a little bit larger so everyone can see the thumbnails properly. Right, your last video is already telling a story, right? We are playing chess, breaking records. Yeah, it's telling a story already. Fun time in the woods, playing chess. I wonder why chess in the woods? Does it have something related? World records you can beat at home. We did. Nice. Wow. World records you can beat at home. That's really intriguing. I mean, the title tells so much more. I would really want to break world records as well. And if there are some easy things to do so, because apparently not many people tried it yet. So the existing records are quite low. That's what I would assuming by reading your title. That's a cool thing to do there. So this is kind of, you know what, you could tell the story a little bit easier in this case. The intrigue for me is I could break a world record as well, easily. So, but I only got that from the title. You could somehow add that as a word. Easy world records to break, but that's already a lot of text, right? It's not so easy. Marco, do you have an idea how we could incorporate this thought into the thumbnail?
The thumbnails are good, but for example, the emotion is too far away already. You understand what I'm saying? Is the face of them is just too small for the thumbnail. Or for example, even the one that is eating a tea bag, he had to point to the tea bag in the middle of the two subjects. So just his face should be enough looking to the tea bag. If the tea bag, imagine the photo of the tea bag was in front of the camera and he was behind and he was much closer to his mouth trying to eat it. And just with one word or two, once again, there is too many words. And one thing that I really don't like on the thumbnails is the titles. They are too close to the edges. So it's like it seems that it was cut out. Makes sense what I'm saying, Nico? So I'll have changed that. I'll bring the titles a little bit lower, less information. For example, the one that is $5 survival challenge. For example, the survive at all. I think that the other word is cost because it's behind the time, so I can't see it. But I think it is in the right way, but it can tweak a little bit more. That is my opinion.
You know what? I think the idea is less text and more showing it as an emotion. Since you show the faces here and all that, it's already a lot of potential. And I think this eating a tea bag already tells the story. Yeah, of that's disgusting, right? That's the thought behind it. But you could improve it even more, like you say, when you are having a more closer shot in this way. By the way, I like that the background is blurred, so it's already quite simple. But there's room for improvement, as you say, Marco. I have a good example. Yeah.
For example, even the arrow is pointing in the opposite way of his mouth. Makes sense? is, for me, it will be the opposite way, because what is important here is going to eat that tea bag. So pointing to the tea bag is just increasing the sensation that he's looking to the tea bag, not is going to eat the tea bag. Sorry, guys, if I'm really critic, but the objective here is to help you all.
That's actually an interesting thought. Leading, yeah. It is a good idea. You have to, like, a flow from top left to bottom right usually is the easiest thing to do. And here it's like you go from top left to top right, and then you go from the face to the arrow to the tea bag. Well, it's actually not too bad. You can read top to left, face, right, but you probably usually start with the face. That's usually what we are drawn to. So we away from the face to the tea bag. It's actually the reading order is not too bad.
For me, is like is discussed to see that. After I don't get the sensation that he's going to eat. Makes sense? If I don't read the title, I just see him grabbing that, and he's discussed to look for it, not that he's going to eat the tea bag.
Yeah. As Pam just says, you could even remove the arrow. Although,
exactly.
I don't know whether that otherwise would catch the attention. The arrow is a good way, or an easy way at least, to bring the attention to something.
For example, I was now thinking just an idea, for example, like the film The Shark, that you have the shark with the mouth open from the bottom and have the tea bag on the top. It's like it's going to drop, because you know that if you leave it, that tea bag, obviously gravity will go, it will bring them down. So obviously it will go inside the mouth. In that way, even without eating the tea bag, I know that that could happen on the video.
By the way, I have a good example. Can anyone say in the chat, Daniel Batal has a food channel. I can't remember the name of the channel. It was because he ate a tarantula once. Eating a zebra tarantula, maybe? Scrolling through there is really disgusting. But his thumbnail is Extreme Food Reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that channel also.
Let me check whether I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So, sorry. Embrace seeing spiders now, please. Bye, delightful light. Have a great Sunday. Rest of your Sunday. Here, this is an example of a thumbnail where you also eat something. Like the idea of having a close-up shot more closer. Hi, Daniel. Still here. Great. So this way you see, like, he's eating that one.
Yeah, exactly. It's much closer. The tarantula is much closer to the mouth. The tarantula is from the top. His mouth is from the bottom. His eyes is doing a reaction, and the title is giving the rest. I will just have give a little bit more space, like I said, and the teeth I will have put completely straight. But the thumbnail gives a reaction without any errors, and I completely understand that he's going to eat the tarantula with this one. So great thumbnail.
Excellent. Correct. And I think here the close-up shot with the tarantula, like what you eat near the mouth, actually. And then the face, I like this disgusted face a little bit better. And then I would say, if you combine both, you don't even need text anymore, right? Yeah. So eating, disgusted face, and that's it. It's telling the story.
Exactly, Nico.
Yeah. What was your squat time? Really great thumbnails. You have a lot of potential here to even draw out the story even more, as you already do. Good job. I'm glad that we picked you as an example right away here, because you are already starting to tell stories. As I said in the beginning, I only found one single thumbnail in my archive that is actually telling a story. You're having it intuitively already there. Let's do another channel. Maybe we find another interesting channel for about telling story. Leave at Morningfame me in the chat, so you get a review. Then we can pick another random number, and let's see how whether you also tell a good story already. Yeah, our pleasure, squad time. All right, ISOC Adventure is the first one to pick. Let's see. Let's just take a number from 1 to 10. Yeah, the thing will go down. I draw the number right away. 12 is the last one. Next one is number 6. All right. Number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Briez, it's your time. It's a kids channel, right? Here we go. Marco, I pasted you the link as well.
Thank you once again.
Okay, we have really obviously a kids channel here. And we have right away kids channel. It has to cover slime, right? Here we go. The button. Okay. Here we go. Slime. Certainly is something very intriguing for kids. Mystery Wheel of Slime. Okay. You're probably playing with a mystery wheel here. And then you choose to do different types of slime, it seems. To tell the story, the mystery wheel of slime, guys, a few of you asked that we done a slime video, so finally. And now I have to know what the mystery wheel of slime actually is. That's again, you know, what I said also previously. The story you want to tell has to have meaning for your audience, right? It is not necessarily, I don't watch kids videos, so I don't know about this mystery wheel, so it's no problem that it does not tell a story to me. It has to tell a story to the kids who are interested in slime in general, which are most likely all kids in the world. But what I first would say, like having this mystery wheel more in the foreground would maybe make more sense. You know what? Let's quickly. Let's do a quick thing here. What we could do is. Okay, I have. Let's try to rearrange it a little bit. So what I have here. Okay, let's do a screen share of my whole screen. Here, desktop. Okay. Here, now you see the whole mess we have here. But here we go. And the other one, here we go. Okay. It's really pixelated now, but just to have this idea, if we take this slime wheel a little bit, here we go. I have to zoom here as well. A little bit. Here we have the slime wheel in big, and then we do like the one kid, your daughter. here and your son. Something like this. It would make a little bit more sense, wouldn't it? So just to give you an idea, that would be the frame of the thumbnail here. So you have a little bit bigger of this wheel in front. The kids in the corner, like the second half. I would probably even do the kids a little bit smaller and the wheel a little bit
bigger.
Bigger, yeah. So this is in the center. And then this way, it is like you first see the wheel and then the surprised kids who do weird things with the slime. And probably you don't even need the slime logo here, slime text anymore. Just the wheel in bigger, you can clearly see it. And then the kids playing with the slime. I hope this makes a little bit more sense. Now I'm a little bit lost with the screens here. Let's go over to the browser view again. So this way, it is kind of like priorities of what you see in the thumbnail. Yeah. So then you could remove the arrows as well. As we also said, like have as little elements on your thumbnails as possible, because people only have a split second to understand what is going on in the thumbnail. And this way you reduce the clutter in a way so it is like easier to digest for the viewer. And yeah, it can tell the story. I assume you're rotating the wheel, and then you have to do the slime thing that is written on the wheel. So yeah, having the wheel at a certain position, and then the surprised kids maybe doing the same thing, not different thing, or do you do like the slime bubble here, right? So, and then the surprised faces could really work well. So yeah, that's the story here. I think the story is in there, and a little bit potential to peel it out a little bit more. Mystery wheel ice cream. It seems to be working really well. So having a mystery wheel actually is a very big magnet for people, it seems, in the kids niche. So it's a good idea to have that in the foreground, like I just sketched it. Yeah. Halloween with spiders. It is like, yeah, joking around with these items. It is something that, yeah, understanding what people do here. And I think this is already, when I say like peeling out the story, it is already quite similar to this one. You know that he will drive the car on the water. Here we know that the kids are playing with spiders and this jelly and stuff like this. It is, I think, at this point, it is just a matter of focusing in on what actually happens there. So decluttering the thumbnails a little bit. So your the jelly jar here in this case is probably very important for you, is it? So I would design the thumbnail a little bit in a way that it's bigger, more in focus, so that people understand this is what is evolving around here in the video. The dog vlog, yeah, good point. Yeah, close-up shots attract attention, because when you are looking at the thumbnail, you're always wondering where you should look at. And faces, certainly, you have the surprised kids, or maybe disgusted even. This is obviously an attention magnet, but the items play a crucial role in these videos. So it is a good idea to put them front and center. Yeah, not literally speaking, front and center. Could be on the side, but you know what I mean. Prioritizing the visual impact of these items. What would you say, Marco?
Can you bring the image to the first one so I can analyze, for example, these 3 ones? Yeah.
This with the slime, yeah.
Yeah. So I completely agree with you. If the mystery wheel of slime is the most important, I understand that the channel is related with the kids, but if the kids are there, but a little bit more in the background, for example, this one I was just imagining, for example, them around the mystery wheel, each one grabbing one side of the wheel, like fighting for it. I think that will make the job. That will make the job. And once again, we see here what I was saying, that I don't like to see in a thumbnail is the type of letter is more difficult to read and is on top of the image. So it's killing the image, because the most important part of this thumbnail is the wheel, and I almost don't see any wheel. So I just recognize that was wheels, to be honest, when you start talking about them. So I think obviously there is much more to do. In this case, obviously that green part around the kids, I don't like to see, because it basically separates the background from them, is not putting them in that emotion, in that situation, if it makes sense what I'm saying. So it seems 2 images, they are just grabbed to each other. So I prefer to see something that is just 1 image in one time. Can you pass to the second one, please?
Yeah, good idea. I really like your idea about a similar style that you have, that the main gain of the thumbnail is already done in the photo you take in the beginning, even before you process it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And here, for example, the second one is once again the wheel, but the wheel is completely in the background. And the second most important thing is ice creams. So I don't see any ice cream. At least I can't find any ice cream on the photo. So once again, I see, obviously I understand that is a channel and is related with kids, but this type of letter, once again, I really don't like. I hate to see the white part surrounding the letters. What we talked before about the colors, I understand that as a kids channel, the colors are something really, really important. They have to pop out, otherwise the kids will not press there. But the title is completely on the top. Once again, that the mystery wheel is cutting. It's too close to the edges, so it don't breathe that title. And I don't know where to look for, because I look to her, she's looking straight ahead. I looking to him, he's looking a little bit more on the left. The titles are going a little bit on the left, but is bottom and top. So I don't have a guide, and I think that the audience will get lost.
Yeah, good point. It's you know, the technique to have a white border around text is a good way to make text readable, but it adds more clutter on top. If you clean up the whole shot a little bit, then that border wouldn't even be necessary anymore.
Yeah, exactly. If you find a background that is clear, that is easy to work with, you will not have any problems to do it. And when we go to the last one,
the third one, this one,
So when we talk about movement, we can see, for example, the jar that the kid have in the hand is pointing in the right. So I look to her, but after what she have on the hands is pointing once again down, and the spider is up. So, and the spider is too small. There is too much things happening there. I can see a bag there. Now I notice there is a small spider on the bottom, but like I said before, who is looking to this thumbnail don't have the time that we have here, that we are analyzing every single part of the thumbnail. So this one is the one that is even more confusing for me. So you have too much things happening there. If it's Halloween, for example, I was imagining them dressing for Halloween and maybe having like a spider, even if it's not a big spider, but the spider is a little bit closer to the front image. and in that way, that is the focus, is the spider. But I don't think that is even necessary the spider, because it's Halloween. That is the main thing. But I'm not seeing them ready for Halloween. So this one from the three, I think, is the one that is more confusing to really just looking for it and understanding what is to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a good point. I mean, it is, quite frankly, it's a little bit difficult for kids' channels. Here we have an overview of more thumbnails of her channel, and because it's all very colorful, you need to do something very colorful. But I think here, for example, the balloon pit.
It's already better.
It's already better because the balloons are quite, they are prioritized in this shot. Yeah.
And the hand is pointing in that direction, so I can see already some movement.
True.
Obviously, it could be even better, but it's much, much better. It's a difference from night to day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a good example.
Or the one in the corner on the top with the computer. She's like,
this one?
She's crying.
Yeah.
So, for example, this one is easier. I can see her. So the main thing is her. So it seems that I don't know if what is about this video, but the story. I can see a story. I can see her upset. I can see that the kids, maybe they have prepared something that she don't like it so much, and they scare her. At least is what I can see.
Yeah,
the arrow I will have done in a different colors, and with not all these different colors here. I will have just choose one unique color to do it. But is already, once again, is much, much better than all the three ones that we was analyzing in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is well telling a story. Like they are watching a scary movie, and she's not happy with that. He's had fun watching it. So yeah, a lot of emotion going on there from watching the scary movie. The point that I want to bring home in addition here is that it is quite difficult in the kids niche. Look at that. These are 6 different thumbnails from different channels. And it's usually quite colorful. So there is usually a lot going on. So what you need to do in the kids niche is having something very colorful as well. And that easily lends towards making those thumbnails quite cluttered. But the idea is to break the pattern, and that would be the third aspect of how to make great thumbnails, is to break the pattern.
I think something, Nico, just to say something about when I was a kid, and maybe it makes sense for you guys. I grew up in Portugal, and when I was a kid, all the cartoons, they was in English with subtitles. And as a kid, you have some problems to read because you are just learning. So I think maybe on the kids niche, the titles are even less important. If the image don't talk by itself, is not the title that is going to give the extra, because the public is kids, and kids, they don't read. They are used to have everything in their own language. Now, in my country, if I go there and I see cartoons, they are all in Portuguese. Kids don't read. They are just starting to read. So the title, I think, for that niche is definitely, if I was on that niche, my thumbnails will be without any title. And I was just starting to think now, because obviously it's not my niche, so I have to start thinking about it.
Yeah, but that is a really good point. I think this thumbnail here in the top right, Marco, I think you can see it in small, what I'm just showing here.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That is already, the kids will want to click there. It's powerful, have a lot of colors, have a blue that is completely opposite of the pink. And I can understand that it's trying to put back the finger in place.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best one from all.
Pam also just said in the chat, "Ooh, that finger one draws the eye." Yeah, that's a good point. That's uncluttered. There's nothing to get confused about it, and there's a story. Yeah, I don't know what exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have to give away everything, whether she's breaking her finger or whatever there's happening. But it is intriguing and motivating people to click. But
and
yeah,
the people can't forget that if the image will intrigue, they will read the title. So at least for me, when I see an image and I feel interesting, after I'm going to read what it's about. So if the image don't intrigue me, I just go straight ahead to the next one.
yeah, exactly. That's the idea here. And you always have to consider it considering your niche. As I said here, this is a good example in the kids niche. Everything is really colorful. Yeah. So you have to kind of match that in a certain sense.
Which one you was going to click if it was you, Nico?
I don't know. They are all very, very similar. So I wouldn't choose any of the others. But if I look more closely, I like the top bottom
Exactly.
here, right bottom here.
And why, Nico?
The wheel, what we just said, right?
They will, but I don't think that is just that. You have much less information than all of the thumbnails they are there. So that's why your eye went there. So all the others, you don't know where to look for. I know in that one, you know automatically because the ice creams or something that is on the front is noticeable. So the first thing you are looking for the wheel, but after, if you get intrigued, you see the ice cream and that's it, and you see kids. So you know that is in kids. The background is much better than, for example, the second one for me. The best one is the one on the left-hand side on the bottom with a blue background, but that blue background is not giving anything else and it's just giving distraction.
Yeah.
So that's why I will have to choose exactly the same as you, because have less information is much quicker for us to understand what they want to do with that video.
Very good point. Very good point. Yeah, I agree. And you really see the ice cream here as well. I mean, we have to be careful here. The longer we look at the thumbnails, the more differences that we see. But that's not actually what the viewers do, right? They have just a split second of time. But you're right. Every thumbnail that has text on it makes it feel more cluttered and makes people intuitively look away, maybe. Yeah. The more you clutter something up, the more difficult brain power it requires for you to look at it, and increases the chances to look away.
And remember, when we talk about kids, the kids, they don't have a lot of attention. It's really easy that they lose the attention for something else. So if you put too many things, you lose them.
Yeah. Good point. I think I couldn't tell because I don't have kids, but
me neither.
Makes sense.
Just three rabbits.
I hope that helped for the review. Let me go over to what I have prepared regarding breaking the pattern. Here, in the many of you who are, by the way, since I just eat my ukulele, I think. Hopefully we get a review with music as well. That would be interesting to see, certainly. Let's talk about this third aspect. We were talking about making people recognizable by subscribers. Yeah. Just as a recap, here you see in my thumbnails, the colors I use, the tilted text I use is immediately recognizable by viewers that it's one of my videos. Same for Marcus' thumbnails. Then we were talking about, as a second aspect, telling a story, like here, one of my thumbnails. This thumbnail that certainly tells a story, or Marcus' thumbnail that does too really well. The third aspect is breaking the pattern. And when we are looking here, these are all videos that are ranking for the VID Summit. Videos about the VID Summit that recently took place. And on the top left, you see my thumbnail. And certainly, if you wanted to click one of those videos, which one would you click? Quick question.
Which one of these videos I will click?
Yeah.
I love Gary Vee, so
bottom right, right?
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
but maybe the top on the right.
This one? Okay.
Yeah. Because once again, you have less information. It's easy to digest if you want.
I hear a middle bottom, 4 for me, so middle bottom as well. Top right. Fun Facts Film says bottom right. Oh, my thumbnail certainly does not a good job here. Top
you have
right.
The emoji. Again. You have the emoji, Nico.
Number 4 again. Yeah. Either middle ones, so these ones. So certainly the bottom left, top left did not work well for people. Harley says number 4 as well. Oh man, the gateway video. Everyone who knows Morningfame knows what the gateway video means. And maybe that tells us that the thumbnail really did the job why this guy made it happen to become the gateway video. I don't go into depth what the gateway video means right now. But anyway, the point is... yeah, that's not the topic of the stream today.
I know.
The point is this. Yeah, what you see here is all videos that are for the same topic. They compete with each other. So do their thumbnails. They compete for the click. So what you need to do in order to design your thumbnail is to break the pattern so your thumbnail sticks out. And we just saw here in the stream that most people choose one of those 4 thumbnails, right? Many number 4, but it's kind of not a clear decision. Yeah, we couldn't say which one gets the most click because, and that's really, I bet we all can agree here, none of those thumbnails really stick out. They are all a little colorful. They all bring home that it is about Wit Summit, but none of them really brings home the like the message home, tells the story. I think anyway, they are quite similar. So what I did here is, since Marco, your thumbnails are so great, I felt the urge to step up my game. I didn't really do a good job here. So what I did is redesigning the whole thumbnail. And let me walk you through what I did here. Version 2 is I changed the color palette. Yeah, which alone, a color palette alone can make a huge difference. As you see here, it's the exact same thumbnail. It is just different colors, right?
Yeah, less colors. You just have one color on that thumbnail, basically.
It is at the same time also decluttered because I use black and white and yellow as a background. This effect actually would already make more impact if there wasn't Reezy Resell's video here. He didn't always rank, but now he does, and now my example gets worse. But anyway, a color palette really is useful. I mean, look at that, yeah? If we look at Marco's thumbnails here, you also have a color palette in a sense, yeah? It's not so clearly visible as it is for my thumbnails. Here, my old thumbnails, it's obvious, yeah, which 3 colors I use. But you're also using the blues and the pinks a lot. That naturally comes from because you don't want to change the skin color too much. So you're working with all the other colors primarily, and that has an impact on the color palette you use. Sorry, where were here? That's a new color palette that I'm using. By the way, I really can highly recommend this website here, Color Lovers. Everyone who doesn't know about them, Color Lovers, spelled in an English way with OU, is a great way to find color palettes and see how they work. This is personally, for me, the way how I got started with web design. Now, obviously, web design is also something that needs, like a lot of skill to get right. And in the beginning, I designed web pages and tried out them, the same web page as I just did with this thumbnail, like the exact same thumbnail, just a different color palette. And I tried out different color palettes that I found on this page and discussed with my wife which one looks better. Yeah. And it's surprising what you can learn from that. So I challenge you, if you want to improve your thumbnails, go to Color Lovers, pick a few color palettes that you like, and use the same thumbnail that you already have and just display it in different color palettes and see how that works. It really makes difference. For me, it really got my design skills started in the beginning. For web design, obviously, but it works the same way for thumbnails. And so the first step I did was a new color palette, because obviously having a bright yellow in the background draws attention in a very simple way, like it does here for this thumbnail. But I went further. Here we go, version 3. What I realized is that it was still too cluttered. So I put front and center Nick Nimmin, who has an important draw to people. Yeah. Before that, I had these 5 people who I interviewed in this video. Yeah. Nick was already there, no problem. But no one really was like prioritized in a sense. So it was, you know, it was too much to really have an impact. So I thought, like, most people from all those 5 people who I interviewed, most people obviously know Nick Nimmin, certainly since we are talking about the YouTube advice niche. So I took his image and put it front and center. And that is something that is drawing people's attention, because they know Nick. As we talked so often in this stream today, faces draw attention. It's an easy way to do that. And so I used Nick for that in this case. But
it's much better, Nico, much better.
Thank you. Have a good day, Fun Facts Film. Great to have you here for so long. But I went further, and I'm already sticking out a little bit, but not too much, quite frankly. But I was thinking, what could I do extra here? Yeah. And I realized I don't tell a story. So what I did in the next version, I changed the title. What I learned at Vid Summit. Yeah. And the thinking behind that is, what I learned is what you see in the video. And Nick is the guy who's teaching me. So that's the story behind it. I learned from Nick. And people who see this thumbnail said, like, yeah, Nick knows a lot. I mean, obviously, he is a force to reckon with on YouTube, right? So this video is about what I learned from Nick at Vid Summit. Yeah, so it's not so much a Vid Summit. You will see that in the video. I don't have, I don't have to explain the whole video to you in the thumbnail. I just have to tease you what you will get from this video. So you will learn from Nick at Vid Summit. And then I fine-tuned it a little bit with the colors and all that. And that is the final version, where I increased the contrast a little bit. Now you see the difference here.
Yeah.
To bring home the whole story thing. And that's the final version.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Nick.
So yeah, I hope that inspired you a little bit about how to do these redesigns. And obviously that was not a really big job. This is kind of just having the idea and then designing it real quickly. So now that I fine-tuned everything and I understood what my design language would be here, I can easily do that for all thumbnails. And obviously, when you saw the stream here today, the stream already had a thumbnail in this new style. And I'm thinking about redesigning all my thumbnails on my channel in this similar fashion. I just have to think a little bit more about it before I'm 100% happy. So I'm willing to do this hard work of replacing like 70 thumbnails. Okay. What I wanted to talk about as well is like breaking the pattern. And as you can see here with the new thumbnail design, I'm a little bit breaking the pattern here because my thumbnail is less cluttered and has a bright color to draw in attention. Oh man, SB Tech Plus. I think it's about time to get some sleep, right? So I'm trying to break the pattern here. And yeah, if it wasn't for Reezy Resells thumbnails, I would have achieved it much more. But yeah, that's the competition. You have to think about the competition. And the same for Marco, your thumbnail as well. Look at that. These are all videos that are reviewing the same type of lamp that you did your thumbnail here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you did an excellent job. Yours really looks cinematic, professional, really draws attention to the light. I mean, all the glowing, so it draws attention naturally. Yeah. So even without having a really skilled hand for doing great thumbnails here, it's still bringing attention to it like it does here because it's an item. But you brought home the whole thinking of breaking the pattern. Stick out.
Thank you, Nico.
Everyone in the chat, would you agree that you would click Marco's thumbnail? Or if not, why? I mean, there are certainly some aspects that you could add to Marco's thumbnail as well. For example, what I like here in this thumbnail, you get to understand that this is kind of a modular design, right? So you can combine these lights and make a pattern out of them. But you don't need to have to tell the whole story in the thumbnail, obviously. They focused on this aspect, which I think is a good idea. But there are many routes to go. I think this one is telling a great story here, even though it doesn't mention the aspect that it's a modular thing to combine, that you don't have to do it all, right? Brias and Co, I'm really happy to hear that this gives you a lot of inspiration here. Just to recap again, before we do a few more reviews, before we wrap up today. So make your thumbnails recognizable by your subscribers in particular. So you have kind of at least a logo or your face or design style of your thumbnail. So when people scroll, they recognize, oh, there's another video of about your channel. Then tell a story in your thumbnails, so you get a rough idea what you will see in the video. And this way you get more intrigued to actually watch it. And then the third thing we just talked about is breaking the pattern. And let's do a couple of reviews of your thumbnails to see whether you are breaking the pattern. So leave in the comment below at Morningfame me if you want to get a review, and I will draw a random number again. And Kevin is the first one to be drawn. Hi, Tiffany. How are you doing? Great to have you here as well. Okay. Let's do a number from 1 to 15. 6 is the last one. And the next one would be the number 3. Okay. Who was the first one? Kevin, yours is retracted. You don't want a review? Okay, then we go on to the next one. 1, 2, 3. Subversive acid. Oh, what a great coincidence. Eat My Yuki. By the way, Subversive Acid does music as well. So since you asked whether we can get a review, unfortunately, it's not you, but at least it's also a music channel in part. Andrew does plays the saxophone as well as does a little bit of YouTube advice. I don't know how much of which you do these days, but let's focus on the music part, because it's quite interesting. If you're looking at thumbnails, each niche tends to have a certain thumbnail style. So once you know the style of your thumbnails in your niche, then it's also possible for you to break the pattern. Just to give you an idea of his thumbnails, here we see Andrew does saxophone covers of computer games. So SimCity 2000 sax cover is one of them. It's a prime example here. Shixi sax cover, I think that is some kind of animation movie maybe that you are covering here, right? Anyway, you get the idea what he does here on his channel. Music collabs, as I said, it's a kind of, he does YouTube advice from time to time as well. So let's see here. Oh, wow. Here we have saxophone cover of Rain, something in the rain, something soothing for your senses. And obviously, what would you say? Which thumbnail sticks out? I think I quite know the answer, which is obviously Andrew's thumbnail. First of all, he shows his face, so it's recognizable by his subscribers, which is really important. So it's great that he has it here. He always does it, by the way. So perfect. And yeah, Rain, you can understand by the text, and sex, which you already see. I don't know. Maybe you could already remove the whole text, right? Marco, I mean, that's your cue, right?
Sorry. I was like stopped looking to them and thinking because I'm always trying to analyze things. Obviously, it's the one that stands out between all the thumbnails that are appearing. Just for one fact, you have some text. That is the main reason, because in colors, all the ones on the bottom and the one on the center on top, they are really, really similar in colors. So if we go by colors, the one that stands out is the one on the left, but is saying basically nothing. I'm a musician also. So, for example, I would love, as a band, many times you go to abandoned places to take photos with your band and things like that. So when I'm seeing here that is related with rain and saxo, maybe in the day that was raining, I know that rain and a saxophone is not the best combination in the world, but I will have went to the middle of the rain in a specific day, and I had take a photo of me completely wet, and I will have done the thumbnail with that. And that way it will stand out for sure, and it will be very clickbait with a background completely clear, because the only thing that I wanted was me playing the saxo. So definitely that will be the thing that I will have made. The photo of him, I think it could be much better. I don't see expression, and that's why if it was in the middle of the rain, it will have that expression. And also it doesn't seem that it's really sharp, at least from here. My eyes drops more for the bottom part where is the drops of the water than properly to his face, because there is no emotion, and the photo it doesn't seem as crisp and clear as I would like to have seen here.
I think that is just the transmission of the live video. It is, I think, crisp, sharp, but good point. There is opportunity in a sense that, I mean, if you're right now playing the saxophone with the saxophone in your mouth, it's hard to do expressions, but you could do something like with your eyebrows, maybe like one down, one up, something like that. Would be a good idea. And I like the idea to be soaking wet, standing in the rain, actually. You're right. I hope the saxophone doesn't rust then. But
or even if it was not, even if it was not raining, but he had like some soap clothes on top of him, and after he was taking in a normal background and searching online for rain PNG,
yeah,
I think he will have done the job.
Some overlay, like you already have here, I think. Yeah, what I like about this middle one here at the bottom is that you clearly can see the rain. It's really only visible with this top left one as well, because it's like drawn, right? It's kind of difficult to depict the rain actually, but here in a natural environment, this is really clearly visible. Yeah, but all in all, that's really a good example where your thumbnail, Andrew, really does stick out really a lot compared to the other videos. So that is a real big plus. Here, let's look at the next one. This one is interesting. Oh man, actually, it's kind of, your competition doesn't really care about thumbnails quite a lot, right?
Nico,
all is, it's similar. Yeah.
Nico, can you just show this? Just give me a second. I'll send you by the Hangout.
Copy link. Just a second. I have to prepare it. Here. Okay, here we go.
So, for example, with that image that I send you a link for a specific image. Maybe it's not open.
Didn't work. But so you selected one of those, right?
Open.
This one looks good, for example.
Open in a new tab. Yeah, this one. No, it was this one, Nico. Sorry.
You can share your screen instead.
Okay, just give me a second. So, for example, this one is a PNG.
Yeah.
If it was behind this image, all wet, it will make the job, and it will look really, really nice for sure.
Yeah, a little bit bigger drops here. Yeah, that so could be something to play around. Yeah.
So for example, let me just try to save the image and go on here. And now I wanted to just put the rain on top of my thumbnail.
Water is flowing on the left button already. That's fitting.
Yeah. Quite slow.
Subversive asset. Yeah, you had a similar overlay, rain overlay, right? So good idea. You could also put it over yourself. Good idea, like Marco just does as well. So
and now I don't know why it gets strange, because it seems because it changed my photo. So, but yeah, in that way, I think that I'm really in the rain. Obviously, if I was completely wet, it will have done the job.
An approach take. Yeah. That's the creative process, right? You try to find different ways. Obviously, thumbnails shouldn't take too long to create. So that is the reason why it's a good idea to establish some kind of design language, so that you can do it in a similar way each time you create a thumbnail. And obviously, Subversive Asset, Andrew has this as well. Let me share it quickly again. Does it here we go. You always have yourself here playing the saxophone. It's you can see it much better here. So most of the time you see yourself playing the saxophone here. which is probably a screen grab, right? So you have the footage all the time available to make your thumbnails. So it's good idea to have like this language established, so you can make it repeat your thumbnail design much better. Interestingly, when we are looking at how to break the pattern, here we have all the SimCity logos just from the game. I think the one image that is provided by the game. So it's more easy to stick out here. So you did a really good job as well. Let's look at another example. This is also about SimCity. So let's switch over this one. Here it gets a little bit more difficult to stick out, actually. Let's see, UD did a video about the song Easy by those two people. I don't know those singers, but anyway, obviously here it's kind of more difficult to stick out, just from the pure fact that it is a very common song. So big channels like Vivo are here as well, and they have mad thumbnail design skills. So it becomes more difficult to stick out, actually. Interestingly, if you just look at the colors and all that, having that alone draws in the attention. But then again, it doesn't tell any story. Yeah. And I think this is kind of, you're competing on different levels. It's quite interesting to see. This one is sticking out because of the color. This one and this one, where this one is much better, obviously, is sticking out because you see the artists, and that is recognized by people because they are fans of the artists, and this way it's reason enough for them to click. But also, Andrew, you're sticking out here because you're telling a little bit more of a different story. Yeah. So if someone is interested in more than just again listening to that song, yeah, you're showing here 4 different people. I think 2 of them are you, and 2 of them are your friends. So you're able to, like, there's something more going on, which is something intriguing for people. Yeah,
I will
from
have
a different angle.
I will have done in this one, for example, the word easy covering basically everything and putting their faces inside the letters, because once again it's an overlay on top of an overlay. So if they was like inside the letters, they will just fill the letters with their image, and you will have, I think, a better result, because in the end it's difficult to see the word easy.
I see. A really good idea. So the letters would be big over here, and you see the faces inside the letters, right?
Yeah.
And Andrew just said that he is in between the 2 people who created the song. So having them left and right is actually a good idea, because they frame the whole thing. And since we start reading on the left side, you can't miss them this way, because they are on the outer edges. Would be in the Y and the E.
Yeah.
That could make a really impressive thumbnail, like New Yorker cover magazine cover style or something like that. Nice. Yeah. All right. I hope this helped. I would say, how is it about? Let's do one last review and then wrap it up for today. Leave in the comments at Morningfame me if you want to have a review. So I draw the last random number to do the review. All right, Kevin, again, awesome. This time you have a good chance. I think now we still have 20 people watching. So, I mean, you have much better chances than winning the lottery, certainly. So let's draw a random number. Number 3 was the last one. And again, number 3. What a coincidence. Alvin Blocks. All right. It's your choice, your time. Sorry, Kevin. Didn't do it for you. Yeah, sorry, Kevin. Yeah. Okay, let's go in. I think Alvin Blocks, if I remember correctly, you do Minecraft, right? Or am I Roblox, right? Roblox is a mod of Minecraft, is it? I'm not too sure. Never played Minecraft myself. But I realized that Minecraft is actually very similar to Don't Starve, a survival game. So I like those kinds of games.
I can see that is inspired in you and Brian G. in the thumbnail.
Yeah, you could say that. You could really say that. Would you agree, Alvin? Here are his thumbnails. Nice, nice. So you certainly have a recognizability here. I bet no one is scrolling past your videos without realizing you have uploaded another video. It's really branded in a clear way. I would say you don't even need your logo anymore, because the red and the yellow text that you always use is already enough. By the way, I realized you use Roblox and Alvin Blocks here all the time, so I would drop the logo.
Yeah, me too.
It's double. I mean, you don't need that, right?
And I don't understand what is the 4, 5, 3, 2 as a part, because it's behind the length of the video. So once again, is information that where it is, at least, is information that don't brings anything, because is missed by the length of the video.
Yeah, I would say in this case it's very important for gamers. If you have a Let's Play, you need to know the episode number, so that you can keep track of what you watched and didn't watch yet.
Yeah.
So it's very important, and I think it's also a good idea that you moved it to the left, because it doesn't get behind the timestamp this way.
Yeah, it could even put the logo, not the logo, but the character on the other side, because his face you are going always to see, even if the numbers are in front.
Yeah, true. Good point. You would drop the logo, put the episode number here instead, and then you have this element in the bottom right completely gone this way. I think it's really important to declutter every thumbnail as much as you can. Let's have a look quickly at how you stack up to the competition. Wow, look at that. You stick out. Yeah, that's Alvin Block's video here. Yeah, certainly, you already stick out. Obviously, the other channels don't do that much here. In terms of colors, only to begin with already. So this is a good start. Let's look at another example. Again, yeah, Mining Simulator shop. You could tell a little bit more about the story, right? Because you're talking about the shop.
Yeah.
Here we have an item of the shop. Here is also an item of the shop. I assume you can buy a full store, right? Here you don't have any. It's in the background, but you don't really see it. It's a really bad example of. I mean, there's some kind of sword in the background which you can buy in the shop, but you don't even see it. Especially not in a split second. But something else have the chance to convey their idea. Here you also see the shop, but yeah, not really. So what you could do in your thumbnails, you see in the background, this is kind of a gem you can shop in the shop here. It is there, but it's not front and center. You remember the thumbnails before we had from the kids channel, where we had this Wheel of Fortune? It's the same thing here, putting it front and center. Not necessarily center, but big, so you can see it, would really make a lot more sense to give the people an idea what it is about in this case. Okay, yeah, Roblox is about building your own game world here. So the shop is obviously a very important thing. Yeah, let's look at a different example again. Here, yeah, it's kind of repeating here. Here we have another example of thumbnails, which is interesting, but it's also really cluttered. Yeah, it's more cluttered than your thumbnails, and your thumbnails, oven blocks, will get less cluttered because you're planning to drop the logo. Perfect. This item could go into this corner then instead. So you have more opportunities to declutter your thumbnails. This one is really cluttered. This
just one question. This character is a character of the game, or is a character that he creates? It's a character that you create, or everyone will recognize as the character of the game?
I think both, right, Alvin? I think it's your character, but it's a Roblox character.
Because the things is, imagine that I'm following this channel. I think he lose a lot of subscribers that really see his videos, because I can't recognize that is a new video. Maybe if you pass on my feed of new videos that I have there, I may think that is a video that I have already saw, because they are all very, very similar.
Very good point. Very good point. I mean, look at that. You have the logo every time. You have the figure every time. You have Roblox every time. And there is
repetitive.
Look at this example here. This one on the right. You have everything is basically branding, the same branding, and you only have this small space to really convey the idea of your channel. Here, it's about dollar and this figure. I couldn't tell what this video is about now, but this tiny space only for what the video really is about. Yeah. And of course the text, yeah, which is in addition, but it's still not a lot of space.
I think that I see here, for example, in all the thumbnails, I see three things always repeated. So if the character is definitely noticeable, that is for a specific game, having the name of the game is already 2 times the same information. Yeah. Having your logo is a 3rd time the same information. You could kill that in one shot just with the character. I will maybe try to do something different, because everyone is expecting to see the things as they are, and maybe I was putting the character coming from the top in upside down with his face, like he was entering inside the information that is there. But in that case, for example, was the dollar and the other character that is there in much bigger size. But once again, the title and everything looks so similar, and it's difficult for me to really understand what's new. So if like you said, it's so important that that is the part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that should be out as the text and nothing more, at least for me. And the image should tell me that is a shop, should tell me that is a data store 2, should tell me that is a shop GUI, and all those stuff. That the image, they have to talk much more than he's talking right now.
Yeah, very true, very true. Maybe you just keep the figure here, which is like the whole branding in one, like a person, Roblox, and the logo is all in there as well. Although it takes up a lot of space, it could be your thing, but it just takes 1/3 of the thumbnail. So you still have 2/3 of the thumbnail to convey the video idea, which you actually, I just realized, Marco, you are doing a tech review channel where it's all about your tech products. And here, Alvin, you're talking about a lot about these items you buy in the stores, for example, or use for building, right? So you could much more, actually get inspired by Marco's thumbnails. I mean, you wouldn't use the same kind of image editing technique probably, but this is what Marco does as well. It's there's one item front and center, like the lamp, this speaker, no, infrared, anyway, this drone and so on. Yeah.
Something that Alvin, you was saying here, that you was thinking to use the character as to create an attention. That is wrong, bro, because in the end of the day, if you use the character to bring attention, the attention is always the same. So it's like you tell me that you like to eat tomatoes every single day or apples every single day. You arrive a moment that you lose the interest. So you have to look to a thumbnail, you have to look fresh. Every single time that you do a new thumbnail, you have to look fresh. And that is something that I'm struggling with my thumbnails, and that's why I change, because all them was looking to purple on the back, because it was always that look that I was capable to take out from this room. So that's why I start to try to take outside, and I try to make my thumbnails more related with publicity. And in here, I think you could do that, because if you, like Nico is showing, you see everything is purple or slightly blue, purple, slightly blue. And for me, it was already making me really annoyed to look to them. And you have to you have to put in the shoes of the other person that is looking to you. If I see a thumbnail that is basically the same, that is just a title that is changed, I will not click, because I think that I have already saw. So I think you are losing a lot of opportunities because you are focusing in the wrong things. And you are putting too much information outside, and after nobody understands what it's about.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I think. Our pleasure, Alvin. Sorry if we butchered your thumbnails too much. It's actually what impresses me about your thumbnails is you thought a lot about branding. Yeah, too much to be precise, actually. But this is really an important factor. Yeah, branding. You know, I don't like the word branding too much, so to say, because it is not about putting your logo on something or getting your brand out there. It's more about getting people recognize your videos as videos of your channel and not any other channel. Because the big advantage is if someone watches your videos and was happy with them in the past, they are more likely to watch them in the future, your new videos in the future as well, right? They are already convinced that they will enjoy your videos. And so you don't even have to stick out with your thumbnails if there is an element that is branded in a way that people recognize your video. And that was in the beginning. Probably all of you who are on the stream right now didn't watch the very beginning of this stream. So let me quickly show you the best example. What branding really can do is, and how little you actually need for that, is this channel here that has like nice thumbnails all the time. And the only branding element is here, like you see foxes, this text cut in half and shifted a little bit. That's and the only branding element.
And once again, for example, these thumbnails, we can see a lot of movement. That cut on the letters gives movement to the thumbnail. The position, for example, of the fox and the hand gives movement. And I want, after this live stream, that you guys that continue there start thinking in movement and how everything is connected to each other, because publicity is not just a bunch of letters and an image that, let's see if you pass a message. No, you have to think, when you look it's like looking for art. At least I try to think like that when I'm looking for my thumbnails.
Yeah, good point.
It's trying to understand where my eye starts first and where they go after. And for example, the one of the fox is really attracting to the title, and I really, really like.
Yeah, little poet, you understand that, certainly. It's art, indeed. Yeah, really good point. Actually, as you say, like a movement, I just realized this video about zero gravity, where they have these letters are, a little bit scrambled, right? They are like everything is floating, even the letters.
I was going to say the same about the zero. You definitely have that sensation that is floating on top of her.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, really good thinking. it's not that easy to get it right in your thumbnails in the end. Takes some time, but I think that's really an important aspect of that. All right, I would say 2.5 hours, a lot of things we covered here today. If you didn't catch the beginning, feel free to catch the replay later. Marco, thank you so much. You are such an inspiration for me, so much so that I felt the urge to level up my thumbnail game as well. Thank you for sharing how you do your thumbnails. Really great example.
Thank you very much to give me the opportunity to be here, because I remember in the past I was the other guys trying to see if you catch me. So it's funny that after, like what? I started seeing you in June or July of this year. So it's funny that after a few months we are here together doing this video. So definitely really cool.
Yeah, so much fun. Thumbnails are so important, and I'm glad we were able to share everything with you, all of you today. Let's improve our click-through rates. Let's win more viewers. Big part of the YouTube game. So yeah, thanks again, Marco. Thanks everyone for staying here in the stream. Was great meeting you. A few new people as well. I just see Chaya. Welcome to the stream, or you are probably a little longer here, but new to my channel. Welcome. See you next week in a regular uploaded video again. So chat in the comments there. I look forward to that. All right. Have a great day. And Marco, have a great evening.
Thank you. I'm going to dinner now.
Enjoy your dinner then.
Have a good day, my friend.
See you, everyone. Bye.
See everyone. Bye-bye.